Ano?
Kami ni-accept na ka dito.
Ada kanya ako. Ada kanya ako.
Enrico Guray.
Sir, ito.
Juan. Ito, Google Meet. Meeting.
Ano na dito yun? Mami!
Connected. Huh? Nakato sa certificate.
Pwede na.
Pwede ba ito?
Awan ko dito.
Oh, naganda si Diban.
Swipe.
Ano si Vivan?
Anya,
Swipe agay
Yun.
group niya.
Pada si Weber.
Wala na si Dodo.
Juan. Ay, mag-join tao. Naka-joinan. Hello. Morning. Ay, dyan na yung bala. Yun mo ko na. Adag echo. Morning.
Tama ni mo may gusto.
Ayaw nila yung mga Makita mo galing mo? Kasi si Google mo.
May
Tingnan ko di camera.
kasi siya.
Aray ko na ko.
Alam mo, itlog.
Dapat destan na kumayan.
Dastan ko dyan.
Nagbati.
Bata.
Oras sa katakot mo na.
Ay, titisan. Oh, malig.
Kaya akong malood ko.
Naka-off naman mic natin. Ano sinasabi niya? Anong Tina?
Off your day pa. Yun lang.
Wow. Meron siya, ma'am. Nagpapaya kami ko naman ko, ma'am. And karta, yung nagat, awan sa internet, ma'am. Tapos nagpapalo guys, mo yun. What? Inilyo. Sige, edit niya. Tapos gupin mo. Ba't inilyo? Oh, yan na. Join meeting, ma'am. Join meeting. Okay, tanong na.
Hello everyone, good morning. Are we all set? Are you hearing me, everybody? Can you turn on your webcam so I may see you all on screen? Ayan, so I'm now seeing. I can see Sir Rufino Aquino. Good morning, sir. Our principal from the Alipang National High School. Good morning, Sir Julius. Also, ayan. Paki-turn on po yung ating mga webcam para makita natin lahat ng mga participants from Alipang National High School. I can also see Ma'am Encarnacion, Ma'am Elvira, and Ma'am Rebecca, can you wave your hand? Say hi to everyone. We are also being live streamed through Google Meet. Meron pong live streaming po. I have shared the link to my Facebook. So, nandun po yung ating live stream. I could share also here in our group chat the live stream link so you could share it to your colleagues in other schools. So let me just copy the link. So at the right of your Google Meet, meron po dyan Google chat box. Yan po yung merong call out icon, makikita nyo. You can chat with everyone. So I have shared in our chat box the live stream of this webinar. So other people could watch it later on kasi recorded ito. So we can wait for others to arrive in our Google Meet. Can you have a word, Sir Principal? May I hear you? May I hear something from you, Sir Rufino? Let's have it sound check. Busy ata si Sir Rufino. And may we have a word from you, Sir Principal? Yes, sir. Good morning.
Everyone. Within my office is one of the members of the faculty.
Ayan. Good morning po. So iba-iba po tayo ngayon, sir. Ano, merong mga naka-work from home pa rin. Meron na ring iba nagre-report siguro sa school ninyo. Nevertheless, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating public service sa government. So we are now preparing for the new normal in our educational landscape sa basic education and of course in our part sa higher education. Okay, so in 2 minutes probably could already start with the workshop proper or seminar workshop proper. Yeah, I would like to acknowledge also the presence of Ma'am Fe joining us today from the College of Graduate Studies sa DMMMSU. Ayan, good morning, ma'am. Mostly our participants here are from Alipang National High School. This is a special request from the National High School through Sir Gali, Mark Gali, our program leader for this webinar. So he arranged for this schedule. Okay, so I hope we can start with our webinar proper. So I invite everyone to settle down and be ready for the webinar proper. Is my audio, let's have a sound check. Is my audio loud and clear? Audible ba yung aking mga sinasabi? Can you wave your hand if my audio is very loud and clear? Ayan. Okay, so I see some wave and a thumbs up from our participants. Okay, so let's start with our webinar proper. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first webinar on Google Classroom for K-12 teachers, sponsored by the College of Computer Science. This is our part of our extension program in the College of Computer Science, and it's a very timely topic for everyone since we are now facing the new normal, our teaching profession. The skill set that we need to deliver our online classes. So let me now start my talk with my presentation. So our webinar proper would be in lecture followed by a quick demonstration of how to use Google Classroom. May I now switch to my presentation? Okay. So I hope everyone have registered to in our registration link here because we will be giving you e-certificate. Are you seeing my presentation? Let's have a check. Are you seeing my presentation on your screen? Can you have a thumbs up? Okay. Yan. Salamat po, Ma'am Encarnacion. Okay. So if you're joining this webinar, I would like you to register at this link because we will be giving you e-certificate. Okay. So you maybe use that for your professional development. So at the end of this webinar, you should be able to set up a class in the Google Classroom. I'll teach you how to invite students to join the online class. How can you upload your learning materials? How can you create activities, assignments? How can we set up the grading that would fit your grading system in your respective institution? How can we create or post assignments for our lessons online? Then how do we go about grading and returning assignments? Of course, in the traditional classroom, we give our students assignments and then, of course, we try to check it, grade it, and then return it in a timely manner. How do we provide feedback, individualized feedback to our online learners? And finally, how can you download the gradebook so that you will be able to open that in a spreadsheet application like Microsoft Excel and manipulate the raw scores and try to compete for the uh, grades of your students. So as I have said, we'll be having a lecture for each of the topics, and right away there will be a quick demonstration on those topics. So let me start with discussing to you what's Google Classroom. Well, we are very, very lucky that we have Google because they have provided us a free web service for us to simplify our courses online. So it provides us features that will distributing and grading the assignments. that particular email was powered by Google. Log in and check your email, you are actually logging in through the Gmail app. So sa, di ba, sa gmail.com, and then you enter your username and password. And that's a very good thing, because there are so many benefits using your deped.gov.ph Gmail account. You can make ang dami pong Google Drive. You have without any expiration, without any limit of storage. So unlimited po yung storage niyan. And a lot of tools could hindi so yung aming pong Google. Be it in a document format, PDF format, video, audio. So kung ano yung po types of learning material. When your students submit assignments, you can immediately receive notification, because Google Classroom comes yung mga mobile application. A communication tool. A traditional classroom environment where you could engage your student for discussion, recitations, and so doing that online. So there is a class stream that where you can engage students on those particular discussion activities. I am sharing my PowerPoint presentation. You are able to hear me. You are able to view my slides. Traditional classroom, we have a direct interaction with our lecture. So you can do Google meetings. You can also invite parents and guardians to sign up for email summaries. Itong feature na to is available only if it is enabled in your through your administrators, yung ating pong administrator sa Google Apps. But of course, that would be under the DepEd na ang may control niyan. So if that is enabled, parents and guardians are also notified for the progress. So in order for them to monitor the progress of their child. On the part of the student, so they can track classwork and submit assignments. So once the teacher uploads something on or in the Google Classroom, the student through their email or through the mobile app will be notified immediately. So there's no reason that the student would say, hindi ko natanggap yung ano. it's like Facebook na parang may mga ano, pag may mga nagme-message sa'yo, you'll get notified. So immediately. So pag sa mga smartphone, di ba, pag may mga updates sa Facebook, may mga notifications tayong nare-receive. So it behaves exactly like that way. And then once the teacher release or return assignments with the grade, so they can receive that real time, or once they are logged in to the classroom. They can share resources also, and they can interact in the class stream or by email. So they could ask questions. So kung may mga hindi sila naintindihan, they could ask questions from the stream. So just like in Facebook, sa parang meron din kasing timeline ito sa timeline, di ba, ng mga Facebook users, nagpo-post sila doon. Okay? So yung iba nagtatanong, where can I buy this one? Where can I look for this one? Okay? So just as you can do that in Facebook, you can do that in the Google Classroom. Then they can also share their screen with the teacher. Perhaps you would like to allow student to share his or her output. Pag meron kayong mga project-based learning assessments, so they can share your screen, they can present to you just as they can do that in the traditional classroom. For guardians, as I mentioned, they can monitor the work of their child. They can review announcement, upcoming activities, and due dates. For administrators, of course, you need to protect data and set permissions for your users, set up dito rin, the teacher should let the administrator to join the class so that they could try sa ating as an administrator, they can also add, remove students and teachers from the classes. Of course, get 24/7 support because this is an online class. This online class will be active 24/7. Now, who is eligible for classroom? So there are numerous type of Google accounts. Okay, merong yung schools using G Suite for education, or organizations using who are ng Google Classroom or all other G Suite domains. I guess all individuals having an email account na at teped.gov.ph, they can make use of Google Classroom. Kami sa DMSU, we fall under the first category, schools using G Suite for education. Okay. Now, the basic question is, can I join classes if I'm a student, for example, created by other account types? So a student with a personal Gmail account a teacher with a personal Gmail account also. Okay? So nandun, can a student join the class? Yes. Now, if you make use of your G Suite for education or yung sa deped.gov.ph, kagaya sa amin at dimsu.edu.ph, kung yung teacher gumawa ng klase sa Google Classroom using that type of account, who can join. So a student with personal Gmail account can still join the class. So nandun, yes then. So in other words, there might be some of the teachers who are can still make use of the Google Classroom. It's still free, no? Because number one is Google Classroom is free for everyone. Is there a Classroom app for my phone or tablet? Yes, the Classroom app is available for Apple iOS, Android, and Chrome devices. So in other words, our majority of our smartphones are using Android and iOS. All that in their respective smartphone or devices or tablet through their Play Store. So they can join the class even without a. So students do not need to buy laptop or computer. No, for you to learn. Mas convenient gumamit ng laptop. Of course, a web browser, either Chrome, Firefox, Edge, or Netscape for Apple devices. And of course, active internet connection. Okay, so how do we join Google Classroom? So let me just give you a quick walkthrough of with your Gmail account and click next. Third, of course, you need to enter your message that will appear. If you're using a GC for education for the first time, you should choose the role I'm a teacher, and then click get started. Okay, so let me demonstrate to you how to the actual demonstration how to do that. So let me switch my screen for a while. And you can now see yourself on the screen. So first, so you need a web browser. So any web browser will do. So I'm now going to open my web browser. Okay. So are you seeing now my screen? Can you wave your hand if you see my screen again? Nakikita nyo yung aking screen? Nakikita nyo yung mga pictures ninyo, yung webcam ninyo? Can you wave your hand, please? So, check muna natin before I perform the demonstration. So, okay. So, let me now switch to a new tab. Okay. So, you just go to classroom.google.com. Type nyo sa web browser nyo. Yan. So, if you don't have any active login, so ito yung bungad. Now, kapag may mga active login kayo, hindi nyo na makikita ito. I mean, pag nakalagin yung Gmail account nyo sa yung browser, wala na ito. This procedure or screen will be not showing at all. But if it's your first time to use Google Classroom.google.com, and if it happened, so just click on the button, go to Classroom. And then you need to sign up or sign in using your Google or Gmail account. I'm using our official DMMMSU account here. Dito sa DMMMSU. So yan po, Google Suite for Education yan. Okay, and then click Next. And then, type in your password, of course. Sure to type in your correct password. Then you have the home. This is the home page of Google Classroom. So as you can see, meron na akong kasing mga online classes. There are 6 online classes active. But if it's your first time, you cannot see any. You can see only blank space here. Pag wala pa kayong mga online classes. Okay? So the next step is to create a class. So how do we create a class? So once you have successfully log in, ito yung pinaka-homepage na dapat na makikita. Okay. So in order to create a class, there is a big plus symbol at the top right corner, malapit sa may profile pic ninyo. So click on that and then select create class. Yeah. So we need to put details of our class. So there are fields here, class name, section, subject, and room. So usually sa class name, we put the name of the, sa amin kasi sa college, we put the name of the subject. Okay. Of course, sa DepEd, 1 class per subject din also. Okay. So there are so many ways how to create classes. So halimbawa, hindi ko kasi alam kung paano sa DepEd eh. Halimbawa, may isang subject pero maraming section. Okay. So for example, math subject, pero maraming section for that math subject. Iba-ibang section ang handle mo. So, ang pwedeng strategy doon ay gagawa ka ng separate classes for each section. Mas manageable yon. Kesa isang klase for all the sections. Parang i-merge mo na lahat ng mga students mo in one class. Parang gano'n. Pero pwedeng gawin yon. Pero para sa akin, mas manageable yung nakaseparate yung mga section. Okay? So say for example, I'm going to create this class as this title, Classroom, Google Classroom 101. Okay? So ang required lang naman dyan is the class name. No? So as you can see, it's required. The other details, doon sa next field na section. Say for example, kung anong school year or kung anong section, yan. Okay? So for example, section 1A, ganyan, section 1A, ganyan, sectioning. Or sa amin sa college, so lalagyan namin SY, so school year 2020, 2021, and then lalagyan namin dyan first semester. Okay. So ganyan lang, kahit hanggang 2, and then click create. So if you're a DepEd teacher and you're handling different subjects, so just do the same process of creating a class. So automatically, ayan na yung bungad. Ito na yung class na create mo. So you can see there at the top. So that's the title of the class. You need to set some important settings. So so the gear icon, that's the settings. So you click on it, it opens the class settings. So yung kanina, yung class name section, the details can be found in under this one, the class details. So you can still edit yung ginawa mo kanina. So kamali ka ng spelling or what, so you can update the class details. The next section is general. So in this part, you can what are these? Invite code, manage invite. That you will be copying and sharing with your students so that your students can join your class. So I'll be talking about that later on. So then meron ding class code dito. This is a randomly generated code, parang secret code that you will share later with your class for them to join your class. So there are so many ways to join the class. So yun yung gamit niya. So I'll be discussing that class code. So meron dito display class code. If you click on that, it will just enlarge the class code. Ayan. So para pwede mong screenshot kung using your smartphone, you can screenshot that and share that in your group chat with your students. So here's the class code. But how do you use that class code? I will demonstrate that later on. Okay? So ito. So meron dito meet, generate meet link sabi niya. So yung meet, ito yung ginagamit you wish to meet your student. And then the link that is generated, yan na po, will be you will be sharing that link to your students later on. So install the Google Meet, then open this Meet link, and you can already see them, no? Para naka-webcam. This is the very important part, grading sa settings. The performance, and weighted by category. So let me just check on our Google Meet. Ayun, may mga nag-attend pa. Check muna tayo. Yan. Can anyone wave their hand if you are seeing my screen and you can hear my voice loud and clear? Anyone of you? Naririnig niyo po ako? Malinaw? Nakikita niyo po ba yung presentation ko? Ayan, okay. Grading. So, ang gagamitin ko, sa bawat breakdown kasi may percentage, iba-iba pa yung percentage. No? So, for example, sa class standing, 30%, sa percent, tapos mga major tests or examination is 50%. Okay? So, pag ganun yung grading system ninyo, you should select itong weighted by category. Okay? Ayan. Then you can also this option named show overall. And pag weighted by category, categories. For example, then add another category, for example, project, and that will be 20% of the grade. And that would be having the highest percentage. So, let's say, for example, 50%. So, halimbawa ganyan. Will be computed based on so we'll just wait it to save and be updated. All the settings are set. Now, of course, as a teacher, you will probably handle different classes. So to create another class, just click on this main menu found at the top left corner of the page. In first item, yung bago lang. So if you wish to add another class, so for example, same subject but different section, so you just have to create on this plus button at the top right corner naman, malapit sa profile pic. So nandyan lang. So Click on that and then create class ulit. So same process then. Okay, so you assign a class name, put some details, then yung mga settings na kailangan iset. So ganun din, same process. Okay, so I'm going back to this class, Google Classroom 101. Okay, so that's how you can easily switch from one class to another. Just this main menu at the top left corner of the screen, and then classes. Or you can actually browse that. So makikita nyo dito yung mga courses that you are teaching. So pwede mo din dyan i-open na mismo. Okay? Now, if there are pending assignments that are needed to be checked, meron dito yung to review. Pwedeng gamitin yan. Then makikita nyo yung mga pending na hindi nyo pa na-check. Ng mga pinasa ng mga estudyante. Okay? So next is, you can personalize ito, yung background image by selecting a theme. Okay, so meron dito na link, select theme. So you just click on that. And let me just, so I'm just checking kung if you are still with me. And okay, so let's now select the theme. Yan. So kung ano yung subject mo, halimbawa, no? So pili ka dyan, may mga category, general, English, and history, math, science, arts, sports, and other. So Google Classroom, so more on technology, so I'm going to select, ito yung laptop. Select. Ayan. So mag-update ito. So kung ano yung akmang background, so should you wish to personalize or customize the image. Okay. So what's next? So I'm going now to discuss to you the 4 pages that you can find inside a class. So as I've mentioned, you can only see 4. As a teacher, you can only see 4 pages there. The stream, then the classwork, the people, and the grades page. So 4 pages lang. So Google Classroom is very, very easy to use. Kasi 4 lang naman yung pages na yan. So hindi ka mawawala. So let me discuss first stream. Ano tong stream? This is where all the posts are being, parang ito timeline ng mga lahat ng pinupost mo as a teacher. So the classwork is where you upload, you create assignments, upload materials, you create assignments, check the assignments, and return grades. So lahat ng parang ginagawa mo sa classroom, dito sa classwork. This is our parang classroom. Diba? Sa traditional classroom, yung 4 walls of our classroom. So this is our classroom. This is where the venue of our learning. Dito sa stream, para tong bulletin board, what's happening inside the classroom. Ano yung latest na in-upload ni teacher, makikita dito. So the latest, all the timeline of all the activities, they are arranged with the most recent ones on top. Parang sa Facebook, pag nag-post ka ng ano, yung nasa unahan, nasa top ay yung last post mo. Okay? Then meron dito sa left pane, upcoming. Yung mga due date. May mga nagbigay ka ng assignment na may due date. Okay? So this is a reminder. Yung mga, ito na yung upcoming due date.
Ang pangit mo.
Ayan. Okay? Now, classworks, as I've said, this is where you upload everything. Kung gusto mong mag-Google Meet with your classmate, nandyan yung Meet. You check for the calendar. You check for your Google Drive, nandyan din, may link. Itong malaking button dyan, blue button na may plus and may word na create. So kung mag-upload ka ng material, so meron dyan, may item for material. If you would like to post assignment, may isa-submit sa'yo, mag-i-upload ng estudyante, or kung magsiset ka ng document, itatype na mismo nila doon yung assignment. So may assignment dyan. Kung gusto mo magpa-quiz, Meron din quiz assignment. Kung gusto mong yung mga estudyante ay mag-participate sa online discussion, ito yung question. Okay? Now, so ayan yung classwork. Sa people naman, ito, so importante din ito, this is where you can see who are enrolled in your class. So yung mga estudyante, okay, you can start inviting them here. And then, you can also invite a teacher. So for example, collaboration kayo, same subject kayo, na ituturo. So same material, same assessments ang i-implement ninyo. So you can actually create na lang and collaborate with a teacher. So you can add their email address here. Ayan. So just type in their email address and then parang peer teaching na kayo dyan. Okay. Then grades, this is where you monitor all the progress of your students. So once this one is populated, makikita nyo yung mga list of students and their grades. And also kung may mga na-miss silang hindi pa na-submit, dyan din. Okay? So those are the 4 pages, very easy to use. Now, paano natin i-invite yung students to join our class? That's the next one, of course. Okay? So we created the class. Of course, we invite our students to our online class. Okay? So there are 3 ways to do that. So let me just go to that particular slide. And how does a student join the Google Classroom? Okay, there are 3 ways. A class link. So through a class link, teacher sends the link. Actually, this is a very new feature of Google Classroom. Wala pa noon yan. The second way is through a class code. The teacher sends or tells the students the class code. Or an email invite. The teacher sends the invite through the email. Okay? So paano? So paano yung class link? So let me switch to my screen. How to invite students using the class link. Okay? So remember, dito sa people, ayan, pwede tayo pumunta sa people. Then meron dito, under students category, sa gilid, meron dito, invite students. Ayan. Meron dito, invite link. And then ito, which is copy invite link. So all you have to do is click on this. Parang kinakopy lang niya yung link na to. Or you just highlight this and copy. So parang Control C, di ba? So this is just Control C. Copy invite link. And then through your group chat, probably you have a group chat with your students. Or may cellphone number ka ng estudyante, you can paste that in the message. Okay? So just through any communication channel or app, group chat, messenger, text, you just paste this link, and then right away, once the student opens that link, they can now join your class. So that's the first way. How about the class code? For class code, students need to open Google Classroom through the web browser. So they go to classroom.google.com and then use their Gmail account to log in or sign in. Okay? And then they will be able to land at the homepage of Google Classroom. So parang yung sa teacher din, when they log into the Google Classroom, meron yung malaking blanco dyan na space, listing all the classes. Tapos makikita nila yung malaking plus symbol. Okay? Okay? So, let me just have a quick demo on that. So, for example, I'm a student, so I'm going to log in kunwaring a student. Let me just check on this. Okay. So for example, I'll be using my personal Gmail as a student. So okay. So assuming ano ko lang ito. So ganito ang mangyayari. Pag first time nila, ganito ang mangyayari din. So blanco. Wala pa silang ginoinan na class. So the same way, so mayroong plus symbol dito. Click on that, meron join class. Ayan. And then meron dito, so they need to enter the class code. So the teacher should provide the class code. So let me just get the class code from the source. So this is the teacher account. Where can I find the class code? So go to settings, nandyan yung class code. So ito yan. So just copy this, copy the class code, and through your group chat, kung may group chat kayo with your online students, then bigay nyo doon yung class code, and then the students will paste that class code here. Yan. Then join button. Okay, so this is a student account. I'm joining. The student is joining the class. Yan, ito na yung kay student. This is the view on the side of the student. Unlike the teacher account, the student account can only see 3 pages here: stream, classwork, and people. So that's how a student joins your online class in Google Classroom. So going back to the teacher account, so kung titignan mo na dito sa people, meron na akong isang estudyante. Ayan, ako din lang yan. So, kung maganda sa laptop ngayon dyan, and you can join my class here. If you have already a laptop and internet there, okay, I'm inviting everyone who is online to join my class. So, sana may workshop tayo, no? So, the class code, so I'm going to show you the class code. Oops, may nag-message dito. Yan. So, I'm going to give you the class code through our chat box. But, wag na pala, baka may side effect ito sa mga account niyo. Anyway, kasi baka ma-select nyo yung I'm a student, teacher kayo, baka mag-change yung role niyo. Anyway, so wag na lang, baka karoon po ng ano. Okay, so let me just go back to my screen. So ito na yung teacher's account. So that's the difference between the two. So I'm just putting that side by side. Ayan. On the screen that on the left is the teacher account, on the right is the student account. So that's the difference. Ano, walang grades page yung student account. Of course, kasi ito for teacher lang. Kasi nandiyan listahan lahat, parang class record yan. So wala yan sa estudyante dapat. Ang nakaka-view lang ng student record, of course, yung teacher. So private data yan. Okay? So that's how you join, that's how you invite your students to join your class through the class link, through the class code, or through an email invite. Okay. Paano yung email invite? So, in this process, you need to individually invite your students. So you should have a master list of the Gmail account of your student. So please remember that in order to join the class, the student must have an active Gmail account. Hindi po pwede yung Yahoo Mail or other email services. Dapat Gmail din. So for example, I'm going to invite one of the participants here. Let me check our registration. Para ma-invite natin yung iba dito. Okay, so for example, sino may personal Gmail dito? Jovelyn? Is Jovelyn online or let me try Ma'am Fe. Ayan. So how do we invite them through email? I just need to go back to the teacher account. Okay, so this is the teacher account. So how can I invite a student through email? So just go to people page again, and then ito, invite student. Then you need to type the email. So say for example, one of our participant here, si Ma'am Fetangalin, to be my student under this class. So you need to manually type. So ito medyo mas matrabaho nga lang. So if you have a class size of 30 to 50, so you need to enter here all the 30 or 50 email addresses. Then click invite. Then immediately this pupil or student will receive an email from me, and then he or she must open the email and accept the invitation. It's not automatic. So as you can see here, parang naka-blurry. It's an automatic. Oh yan, naging ano na siya, bold. It's clear. That means that student already accepted my invitation through the email. So inopen niya yung inbox niya, then merong join button doon, then there you have it. Naging ano na siya. So thank you Ma'am Fe for participating. So nakapag-join si Ma'am Fe sa ating online class na. Okay, so I have two. So let me invite another one. Let's see. Ito si Ma'am Marcy Aison. I could not invite her because she's using yahoo.com. So she must use a Gmail email account, Google Mail account. So say for example, Sir Rafi, yan, Gmail yung gamit niya eh. So let me invite him. Ayan. So test natin kay Sir Rafi. Ayan, si Sir Rafi. And I'm going to invite Kim. Ano nangyari ba tayo? Ayan, so invite ko siya. Then Sir Rafi will receive an email. So if you are listening right now, Sir Rafi, you can open your Gmail, personal Gmail, and accept my invitation. And so let's wait for Sir Rafi. Sir Rafi is opening. I think he's opening his mobile phone right now. So I can already see that on the. And let me see in our Google Classroom. So yeah. Can you open your Gmail, sir? So there's an invitation coming from me to join the class. So when, of course, our pupils, our students in the DepEd, this will be their first time to join an online class. So we need to orient them how to use itong Google Classroom. Baka maraming malilito ng mga bata. Okay? Ang kagandahan kapag isi-send natin sa email, baka kasi mas maganda itong send sa email kasi baka kasi malito sila sa process na maglalagin sila through Google Classroom. Pero I'm sure magagaling mga bata ngayon kaya mga login, alam na nila yan. Just give them the class code. So I'm pretty sure na mafa-follow nila. Okay? So, but in other words, you have 3 options on how to invite students to your online class. Okay? Through the invite link. The easiest way is through the invite link. You just copy the link and share with them. Then for class code, that's the second easy way. May additional steps nga lang. They need to log in doon sa classroom.google.com, then join a class, then enter the class code. And then of course, ito madali kasi wala nang gagawin yung estudyante. Yung pangatlo, yung email invite, kasi i-accept lang ng estudyante through the inbox of their Gmail account. But on the part of the teacher, it will be, matrabaho, tedious job. Pero pretty sure naman yun na marireceive nila yung invitation. As long as tama yung binigay na Gmail account ng mga student. Okay? So probably, dapat may part kayo during enrollment process wherein you gather already or during your admission process, you gather already the Gmail accounts of your students. Okay? So that's how you invite students to join your class. Okay? What's next? So let me see my PowerPoint presentation. So joining, okay na tayo dyan. Exploring the classroom. So nabanggit ko na kung ano yung mga pages na yan. Stream page, classwork page, people page, and grades page. Okay, ito na yung magiging bulk ng trabaho natin as an online teacher. So just like in traditional classroom, yan, we prepare our books, our classroom, yung upuan nila, yung blackboard, whiteboard, mga chalk, mga visuals, all of those ready to deliver in the traditional classroom environment. So just the same, when we do our online class, we must be ready with our content. Okay? So, itong Google Classroom, parang ito lang yung venue. No? Yung content still coming from you. The quality of will always depend on the quality of your materials, quality of your assessments. So, still basing on the quality of your learning content. Okay? But we will not focus on talking about how to make quality materials and content or learning assessment, but how to use the feature on Google Classroom in order for you to organize those materials inside Google Classroom. Okay? So in Google Classroom, you can add topics to categorize content. So just like in the traditional classroom, ang ating books, they are organized based on chapters or mga learning outcomes, okay? Or modules. Ngayon, gagamitin na natin mga terminologies. Modules na Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and so on. Then under Module 1, nandun yung mga lessons natin. Okay? So through Google Classroom, you can upload different files, different formats. You can share links. You can add a YouTube video or share a YouTube video link. You can add a document, forms, and others. You can post assignments. You can set the grading or the rubric for those assignments. You can also check the plagiarism for every work of your student. So for example, nagpapasagot ka ng essay, baka mamaya kinopya lang yan. Magagaling mga bata ngayon, they know how to use Google very well than us. Baka hindi nyo alam, yung work nila ay ang ganda-ganda, yung pala kinopya. Copy and paste, yan ang magagaling. Magagaling po yung mga estudyante natin sa technology na yan. I-Google mo lang, yan yung sagot. Okay? So, actually, Google Classroom has a built-in plagiarism checker for you to be able to determine if the assignment is copied from the web or internet. Okay, so let me just I'll be talking about that later on. Okay, so first, before you upload, we need to organize our materials. In Google Classroom, we call that topic. For each topic, nandun yung lesson. So in other words, para itong module. The topic is referred to as the module. So we divide our subject into smaller segments called modules. In Google Classroom, that is also known as topics. Okay? When I mention topic, just synonymous to module. So how do we create a topic? Okay, so let's do it that way. So just go to classwork page. So let me just check in our mga nag-join pa. Ayan. So let me go back to my Google Classroom 101 class. So under classwork page, second menu at the top. Okay. Let's try to create a topic. So as I have said, topic is just a way of categorizing our content. Okay. So first category, so for example, module 1. Up to you kung paano yung convention nyo dyan sa institution ninyo. Chapter 1, pwede na, or unit 1, or module 1. It's just the same. Okay? So we try to determine, dapat alam nyo na kung ano yung mga parts ng subject nyo. Ilang modules or ilang sections or topics. Module 1, module 2. So for example, up to 4 modules. I am adding right now, say for example, in my subject, there are 4 modules. Ayan. So as you can observe, the last one is on the top. Ayan. So titignan nyo, module 4, 3, 2, 1, pababa, descending order. Can you arrange this one? Can you reorder this? Yes. Just as easy as drag and drop. So for example, module 1, you want that on top. So you just drag all over to the top. Ayan. Module 1 and then module 2 follows. Then module 3 follows. If you want it that way. Okay? Kasi nga, by default na ordering niya is the last one entered is on the top. Ayan. So, but nevertheless, you can still reorganize your modules. Okay? So for each module, you can assign a topic now. Okay? So you can actually create also an overview. So for example, overview, introduction muna. Overview of the subject. So maganda ito, may overview part kayo where you could discuss yung mga preliminary parts, no? It's your first time to join if your first time to meet your students, di ba, pag sa classroom, yung mga introduction, you don't go right away with the lesson. So meron kang overview. So in our part sa college, this is where we put our course syllabus. We create video, welcome video message, mga ganyan. Okay. So we will be dealing with it later on. So that's how you add categories. Just click on this create button, then topic. So we are just creating categories here. So later on, we will be putting our lessons on those modules. So halimbawa, module 1 has 4 lessons, module Just because that's how we organize our subject, topics or lessons. So mas maganda. So dito sa gilid, this is where the students navigate from one module to another. So kung wala pang karga yan, at the student view, wala pa. So let me switch to student view. So this is the student view. So I will try to refresh it. Then go to classwork. Yan. So wala pa. Hanggat wala pang, kahit nag-create na si teacher ng mga categories doon, hanggat wala pang karga yon, it will not display here in the student's view. Okay. So let me go back to this teacher's view. So ito yung si teacher. So for example, sa overview, I'm going to upload my course syllabus or all about the subject. So nilagay ko sa isang document. So tinype ko sa Microsoft Word and that I converted it into a PDF format. Julie signed siya. So nandun yung mga course outline, yung mga course requirements and others. So how am I going to put that under overview? Upload that under overview. So the same button, on the same button, so you create, then ito, material. Okay. So if you're uploading just a pure instructional material, no, so just use that option. So for example, I'm going to upload course syllabus. Okay. Then you just type in some necessary information like an instruction. So please open, because I'm going to upload a file, so I'll tell them to open the attached file. Yan. To be familiar with the learning outcomes, to be familiar with the details of the course or subject, such as learning outcomes, course requirements, grading system, yan, timeline of activities, nandiyan na lahat ng information ng courses, consultation hours, if you have available time, when they could contact you, yan, contact information, and then yan, ano pa ba? And references, yan, yung mga books na gagamitin, and references, yan. Then I'm now going to upload. So how to upload? So there's an add button here. The other one is create. Ito, pag makikreate ka ng blank. Pero I'm uploading one. So nagawa ko na. So I'm now going to upload the file. Google Meet. Okay. Yan. So I'm going to upload the file. So meron ito sa window. Ito, may upload tab dyan. So you go there and then ito, browse from your computer. So I'm now going to locate my file for the course syllabus. Say for example, ito yung course syllabus ko. Ayan. Open. Ayan. So it starts to upload. So yun na, naka-attach na doon. Okay? So when making or uploading something, please put simple instruction for students to follow. So kung titingnan nyo, please open the attached file. O yun, yung gagawin nila. Okay? And then saan ko ilalagay? Remember, I'm going to put that at the overview section or category. So nandito sa gilid, may topic dyan. So I'm going to choose overview. So nandyan, nakikita nyo na yung mga categories na na-create natin kanina. So I'll just simply select overview of the subject. Okay? Then post. So anong dito? May option. What are the other options? Post, schedule, or save draft. So if you want to post that right away, so just simply click post. If you want to post that on a later schedule, medyo advanced yung preparation mo, ready ka na, you can schedule when to post that. So when you select this option, you will be asked to select a date. But if you are not yet ready to post that, you can save that as draft. Okay. Since I'm ready, so I'm just go ahead. I'll just go ahead and post it. Yan. So as you can see, meron ng item dito sa overview of the subject. That's how you share or upload your instructional material. Now, kung meron namang video, halimbawa may video yon, okay? So, pwede mo pa rin i-edit yan as a teacher. So, nandito, sa gilid, merong edit. Ayan. So, for example, nakalimutan kong i-share yung video. So, meron na akong naka-upload na video sa may drive ko. Let me just check kung talaga nandun. Meron ako dito, welcome video. Ayun, meron akong welcome video. Ayan, I created one. Then insert. Ayun. Okay? So, para ano pa rin, meron pa rin kayong connection with your student, mas maiging may video kayo. Makikita kayo ni estudyante. So, the ng online class is isolation between student. Kahit nag-upload ka dyan, kung purely basa-basa lang naman, at least kung may video ka, mararamdaman pa rin ng mga estudyante that there is a connection between you and the student. Okay? So, just say that. Yan. Okay? So, that's how you share. So, you can share a file or you can share a video also. Okay? Of course, if mag-upload ka ng video, it will take time. So, I'm switching to the student just to show you on the student part. So, ito yung student. Ayan. So, meron na. Kanina wala. So, ngayon meron na. So, overview, nagkaroon na ng isa dito. Overview of the subject. So, pag clinic ng estudyante yan, ayan. Meron na dyan. Makikita na niya yung mga instruction mo. So, pwede niya nang i-open to view material. Mag-open siya. Ayan. Okay. Ayan na yung first na upload mo. So, mababasa na niya. Please open the attached file. So, in-open niya. Mag-open. Magpa-pop up yan. Then, babasahin niya yung yung document na sinend mo. So, nandyan. Then, he or she can also watch your video. Yan. Click on that. Then, mag-play yan. Yan. So, nag-stream siya. Still streaming. Let me just have a quick check on our Google Meet platform. Are you still online? Yeah, it's taking time to play. Okay, yun. It's just taking time to play, so let me just continue. So you can share video also. It's the best way to do that. Are you still there with me? Can you wave your hand, please? Para ma-view kayo, this is recorded para ma-document yung presence niyo. Yan, you can turn on your webcam. Okay. So let me go back. So hindi kasi nag-play yung video kanina. Maybe my internet signal is very poor right now. Okay. So, yun. So that's how you share materials with your students. So let me again go back to the teacher view. Yan. The next one is, so that's how you create topic, you add materials. We have already set up the grading. Next one is how to create an assignment, or basically parang homework, wherein students will have to work on something. Okay. So paano halimbawa may papasagot kang essay, or term paper, or baby thesis, or a report, may format or what. So how to do that is to create an assignment. Ito. So just go back to classwork, and then same create button, then create assignment. So let's say for example sa math, may papagawa kang problem. So if you prepare mo document, probably, so of course may mga special symbols, pwedeng handwritten, di ba? Tapos i-picture mo na lang, kasi kung hindi mo ma-type yung mga formula, so that best way to do that is to create an assignment and upload a document, then later on, estudyante will upload their outputs or yung answers nila. Now, ang gagawin na lang muna natin ngayon is, for example, may report, may papasagot kang essay. Okay? So, for example, essay, number 1. Ano bang mga topics natin ngayon? Climate change. Okay. So, instruction. So, for example, saan nila ilalagay yung sagot nila? So, we need to create a document. So, below, there is a create button there. Ayan. Then, meron dong category na docs. That's, yun ang gagamitin natin. Ang gagamitin natin. Para doon itatype ng estudyante yung mga sagot nila. Okay. But before that, so let's try to put some instruction. Okay. So, discuss the different factors affecting or contributing to the climate change. For example, yan, essay type. Okay. So, open the attached document and type your answers directly into the provided. Yan. Create that document. So, what am I referring to this document? So, ito nga, i-create na natin. I-create natin yung document through Google Docs. This is to sets the right portion. So, meron dyan. Grade category. Ito importante. Ayan. Saan natin ilalagay yan na category? So, ilalagay natin sa assignment. And then, how many points? So pag essay, mas maganda may rubric ka. Pero kung hindi ka ready for rubric, so percentage point na 100% pwede naman. But I would like to take this opportunity na i-ano ko sa inyo yung rubrics at saka check plagiarism. Ito magandang feature ito. Para ma-check mo kung baka naman kinopya or kung kinopya, dapat i-cite niya properly. Kasi kung wala siyang idea, of course, the student will get idea of other people, especially the experts. So there must be proper citation in doing an essay. So first rubric, yan. How to create a rubric. So, ito din, before we go into that. Ito, yung due date. So you can set a due date. So for example, let's set that assignment to be submitted until August 28. Okay, you can select a time, that's optional. So, pero kung date, that's enough. Where do we put that? So, for example, that's under module 1. Yan, yung topic na yan. And then, so we are now ready to create the rubric. Ayan. So, this is where we set our rubric. Okay? So, we are in rubrics, alam naman natin, meron tayong mga set of criteria. Okay, so depende kung ilan yung criteria mo, number of criteria. So kung halimbawa 4, for example, there's a criteria on the content, there's the criteria for grammatical structure, there's a criteria for proper citation, and there's a criteria for timeliness. So apat na elements or indicators. Okay? So pwede mong iset yan. So for example, content. Yan. So usually, mga ginagamit yung 5-point Likert scale. So 1 point, so anong ibig sabihin yan? So lagyan natin level title. So yung parang descriptive title lang niya. For 1 point is poor. To add another point or level, so level 2. Say for example, fair content. Ayan. Only satisfactory. So I'm just using a generic scripted title na lang muna for the meantime. But of course, in your part, how do you assess content? For example, how do you assess satisfactory content? So you can put additional description on that para mas objective yung pag-rate niyo. For the meantime, you just do this generic titles. Yan. So 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. So meaning pag 5 outstanding yung content niya. Okay. That's one criterion. Let's set another criterion. How to do that? At the bottom, you see the add criterion. Okay. Click on that, and then next is organization. So meron siyang proper introduction, meron siyang body, and then meron siyang conclusion, just like any other essays. So 1, so again, two, fair, 3, satisfactory, 4, very satisfactory, and 5, outstanding yung kanyang organization. Outstanding. Okay. So let's finish this up. So another criterion. So pwede nyo i-duplicate. So kung halimbawa pare-pareho lang naman ginagamit ninyong descriptive title na 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 outstanding, 1 is poor. So pwede nyo i-duplicate na lang to and then edit na lang yung title ng criterion. So dito sa gilid, ayan, pwede nyo i-duplicate yung criterion. So duplicate natin, and then all we have to do is to modify the criterion title. So for example, this will be regarding grammatical structure. Yan. And then, so duplicate ko ulit. Say for example, the last criterion is timeliness. Of course, timeliness, paano mo say? So, 5 na highest, so probably, you could place there, submitted. So, usually, ang baseline ko dyan sa 3. Pag 3 pag a day ahead. Ahead. Uh, 2 or more days late. Okay. So, assuming those are our so nandito sa top right corner yung save button. So save it. So that rubric will be used to grade this particular assignment. Okay. So, for example, saan yung lesson niya? Before niya sagutin sana yan. So for example, we find an article sa Google. Pwede na natin i-share. Climate change. So let's look for an article. Well, ito. Halimbawa, directly from NASA. Climate change. Vital signs of the plant. Ayan. So for example, ayan. Ayan. So ang first na instruction natin is find an article from NASA regarding climate change and global warming. So hindi natin, of course, para may suspense, hindi natin ibibigay yung exact. So, see the link provided, sabihin natin. So how do we attach that link in our assignment? So dito sa may add button, meron dyan link. So ilalagay natin yung link dyan. climate.nasa.gov.ph. Yan. Okay? So after finding an article, of course, find an article from NASA and see the. So i-study nila yung article na nun. And then, after studying the article, open the attached document and type your answer directly into the document provided. Okay? So alisin na natin siguro ito. Okay? So yan yung instruction natin. So attach document. So we need to attach a document. So we need to create a blank document. So we will prepare the document template for them already. So when you create a new doc, so it will create and open actually a new Google Docs file. So magpa-pop up dyan. So ano muna dyan, i-format nila. So you prepare the template, no? So for example, so the title of this one is essay number 1, that is climate change. Ayan. And then, pwede tayo mag-insert ng table para mas organize. Ayan. So parang Microsoft Word lang ito. We are typing. in a word processor. So I'm going to insert a table. The first row is the question to discuss the factors contributing to the climate change. Yeah, this is our question. So pwedeng you can change the color, the background color. Halimbawa ganyan, and then i-white natin yung text. Yan. Plus we provide space for answer. So type your answer here. Right. This is our template. Yan. Bold natin yung title. Change the font size. Ayan. So, for example, this is our first assignment, wherein students will try to answer that question. So, pag nag-prepare kayo ng mga ganitong Google Docs, it automatically saves as you type. So, walang Control S dyan or file save, wala. So, everything saves automatically. So, we'll just close this document if you are finished. Okay, so nandun na siya. Now, this is a very important setting. You can see here, by default, students can view file. You don't want to use that. We should select make a copy for each student, so that for each student, they have their own copy. Kasi yung master copy, pag ni-edit nila doon, magja-jumble na yung mag-overwrite yung mga ni-edit nila doon. So make sure that you set to make a copy for each student. Okay? That's a very important step. Make a copy for each student. Going back here, since we are rating that based on our rubrics, which is 20 points, we also need to update the points here. Kasi by default, every time you you create an assignment, by default, it's 100. So we need to update that based on the rubric that we are going to use. 20 points in total. Okay. Now, meron dito, check plagiarism. Okay. So you can select that option. You can enable that option. Okay, may pop up dyan just to remind you that for every class, you can only perform originality test up to 3 times. So in other words, in every class, 3 assignments lang pwede mong gawin. Gawin na kung saan gagamitan mo tong feature na to. Up to 3 attempts lang. Okay? So let me just check. Are you still online? Wave your hand. It's a very important topic kasi assignment na to. Okay. So yun. So recap. So yung lesson nandito, yung lesson in-attach ko na. It's an external link. So you can link as many articles or external websites as possible and share it with your class. Then ito na, I prepared already the document where students can enter their answers. Okay? So we are all set. So our rubric is prepared. I have enabled this feature to check if it's an original work of the student or nag-cite siya ng properly ng mga references. Okay? So let's try to assign that. Okay. So while we are saving, do we have questions from our audience? While we are before we view the student's view. Do you have any question? But you can turn on your mic right now so we can have an open forum for the meantime. So I will stop presenting muna and then I'm going to entertain some of your questions. If you have questions, you can turn on your mic and of course turn on also your webcam para makita kayo ng ibang mga participants. Sir Rafi, do you have questions so far? Do you have questions for creating a class, joining class, or creating assignments?
Yes, Sir Enrico, this is only my concern. What you're presenting is applicable to college students because in the Department of Education, most of the evaluations, the activity sheets are multiple type of questions. So we do not need those attachments of essay writing or whatsoever. All we need is perhaps how to manipulate multiple type of questions, multiple choice only. That is only our concern actually in the Department of Education. In quizzes, in unit tests, in long tests, and even in periodic evaluation or quarter test, all the tests that we are doing are multiple choice type of questions. That's my concern, sir.
Okay, sir. So let me respond to our query from Sir Rufino. So let me mute muna, sir, yung mic ninyo, ano? Okay, so let me po yung concern po ni Sir Aquino. We have a feature actually that will be the next topic after the assignment. So I'm just sharing a very important feature which is plagiarism checker in case in the future kasi baka may mga project-based learning po kasi kayo, at least you can check on the reports of your students if that is copy and pasted from the web. Okay. So masasagot natin yan kung paano natin implement naman yung mga objective type of assessments. May multiple choice, true or false, or fill in the blanks, and then automatically check na niya kung tama or mali yung sagot. Pwede po. So pwedeng, in other words, meron tayong mga tools for online quizzes. So that would be answered later on. Thank you, Sir Rufi. Do you have other questions or queries regarding our ongoing topic? Anyone could raise a question? Yung topic muna natin, yung ongoing topic, how to create a class, how to join a class, or how to create an assignment using and then checking the assignment grade using rubric and plagiarism checker. So again, to ask question, you can unmute your microphone and then share your video.
Sir Enrico, request namin after our webinar, can you send us a link so that we can review the presentation so that at least we can master the steps on how to use Google Classroom? That's only a request, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Request granted. I will be giving you my PowerPoint presentation. And actually, I prepared a quick guide for Google Classroom. It's a complete document, a quick guide for both teachers and students, so that teachers can still review how to create class, how to upload assignments. Meron po tayong quick guide dyan. And at the same time, meron ding quick guide for student how to join class, how to submit everything, how to do everything in the Google Classroom. So yes po, request granted, sir. Okay. So kung wala ng question po, let me show you now paano yung estudyante magsasubmit. So importante yung process na to para may orient natin yung estudyante how to submit assignment. So I'm now going to switch on my screen. Ayan. So I'm switching to my screen now. And then, so I'll go back to, ano na to? This is the teacher view. So, this is the student view. So let me just refresh it. So dito, so makikita na ng estudyante, merong bagong dating na post dito. So nandyan na. The teacher posted the new assignment, essay number 1, climate change. The student can open directly. So this is 20 points, and this assignment will be due on August 28. Okay? So nandito yung instruction na binigay ng teacher, find an article. So I need to find an article. So pag click ko yan, so magbabasa ngayon ako ng article from the link, and then ayan. Okay. So for example, let's see here a link related to the assignment. Okay, so let's see, let's take this one. So for example, meron siyang nakuha ditong article and then kinapin paste niya. So for example, this one, kinapin niya. Okay? And then, so meron dito yung document. So open the attached document, sabi dyan. So ito yung attached document. So i-open niya. So this is now the copy of that student. So ito yung template na na-prepare na nun. And then the student will paste here the answer. So ipipaste ko na siya. Ayan na siya. So for example, ito yung sagot niya. And then yung estudyante, kinopya lang yan without even parang walang effort. Di man lang siya nag-effort. Just copy and pasted everything. Okay? So yan na siya. And then, how to submit? How does the student submit? So meron dito sa top, turn in. So to submit that, the student must click this turn in button. Kung hindi pa siya ready, etong nagawa na niya is automatically saved also. So pag close niya yon, the student can just go back to that document and continue working on it. O titignan mo, nandun na yung updated version. Okay? So student can always go back, start working and then always go back. Basta wag niya, kung hindi pa siya tapos, wag niya munang i-turn in. Okay? Then, kung tapos na, you can hand in. The student can now hand in or turn in. So, meron dito, sa mismong assignment post, hand in button. So, i-click na niya yan kapag ready na siyang i-submit. Ngayon, kapag nag-submit na niya, ayan. So, may reminder dyan, your instructor has enabled originality report. So, ibig sabihin, that work will be tested for plagiarism. So, cancel natin. Now, before niya submit, the student can actually run an originality test, him or herself, para ma-check niya kung yung work niya ay kinopya, copied from a source or not. So, pwede siyang mag-run. Ayan. So, may reminder. Up to 3 attempts lang niya pwedeng gawin ito. So, pag ni-run niya, that's 1 attempt already. Okay? Then, it will take a while for that originality report to be displayed. So, after some time, so ito, mga ilang seconds lang, depending on the length of the document. So, makikita niyo na dito, sa baba ng document, meron ng originality report. So you can view that. So the students can now see the percentage. Ano yung percentage na yun? Yung 97%. Meaning, 97% of this document is copied. So flag content, sabi 95%, 97% flag content. That means 97% of this document is copied. Only 3% is original. Okay? Dito naman sa count, one flag passage. Meaning, this full paragraph is coming from one source. Kaya one flag passage. So, ito, makikita mismo ng estudyante. This is a student view. So, that will be the result. So, for example, may criteria for originality. Pwede ka mag-add ng criteria for originality. Isa-set mo kung ano yung acceptable percentage para sa'yo. Kung halimbawa, 50% flag content is already a passing rate for you, at least may objective yung pag-rate mo. So at least, kung alam ni estudyante na 50%, kung na-reach yung 50%, okay na, he or she can already submit his or her assignment. So remember, this is student view lang, ha? Okay. Nevertheless, kung okay na, then pwede nang i-submit ni student. So i-hand in na niya. Ayan. So nasubmit na niya. Kung yung deadline, pwede pa niyang i-edit. Kahit nasubmit na niya, pwede pa rin niyang pwede pa rin. Okay? Basta hindi pa nag-due date. Pero of course, pwede pa rin niyang mag-unsubmit kahit after the due date. Pero since meron ka namang correct. Okay? Now, let's go back to the teacher view. So, sinubmit na niya, then the teacher will be able to receive the assignment. So, where can I find that? So, just go to classwork, open that assignment, then you can now see here, one turned in, one assigned. Remember, I have two students. Diba? Si Ma'am Fe, and then ako, yung account ko na personal Gmail. So, ginamit ko yung account ko to. So, one turn in meaning may isang estudyante na nag-submit. So, I click on that. Yung sa nag-turn in. And then, ito ngayon yung nag-turn in. Or ito. So, makikita mo din sa gilid, turned in. So, select that student. Then, you can now review his work. So, I just open the document na submitted. Ayan. Okay. So, that's the work. So, I can put comments on his work. I can now rate him. So, meron dito yung grade sa gilid. All over 20, anong rate ko sa kanya? So, dahil may rubric na ako, I can just make use of the rubric. So, for example, content, very satisfactory. Okay. And then, organization, very satisfactory. Grammatical structure, very satisfactory. And then, timeliness, 5, highest kasi ahead of time nag-submit siya. Okay? So, ganun. That's the beauty of rubric naman eh. Mas madali lang mag-rate. So, total score is 17. Okay? Now, if you want to put additional comment, so for example, you highlight this and you want to add a comment. So, highlight this. Merong add button dito. You must cite properly your source. Yan. So, halimbawa, you found out that it's flagged content. So, you can comment on that. Yan. So, makikita no, ngayon later on ng estudyante yung comment mo sa kanyang ginawa. Okay? And then, so, you have checked it, you have scored it, meron ng grade, and then, you are now ready to return the assignment. That's check assignments. How to return? Meron po dito yung return button. So, click return. So, the score will be returned. he or she will receive the comment on his work. Yan. So you have successfully returned that assignment. So you just go back here. So you just close that. Then you can go back and check another student work. So that's the process of checking, returning assignments, and giving feedback to the student. Okay? So now, do you have other question? Kung meron pa kayong existing question before we go to yung sa concern ni Sir Rafi doon sa objective type of assessments. Let me check our chat box. May mga queries po ba tayo sa na-present na topic before we switch to another topic? So kung wala na din, we can go to the next topic, yung pong concern ni Sir Rufino. Okay, so how do we make online quizzes for our students? So sa Google Classroom, so let me just switch to my screen. Okay, entire screen. Okay, so let me just go back to our entire screen. Ayan. Okay, so let's create an online quiz, objective type of assessment. So just the same in under classwork, then the same create button there. Meron dyan quiz assignment. Yan. So say for example, module 2. So lagay natin ito sa module 2 quiz. When you create a quiz assignment, automatically a blank form is created. As you can see here at the bottom part, meron dyan blank quiz, which is a Google Forms, made from Google Forms app. So blank quiz. So we are going to enter later on our questions and key answers there. Okay. So let's put some instruction. Open the form provided. Our first instruction is from 9 a.m., for example, to 9:30 a.m. on August, say for example tomorrow, 21, 2020. Okay, so just like in traditional classroom, we set the date for a quiz. Huwag naman po kayo magpa-surprise quiz. Hindi na po pwede yan sa online classroom. Okay, so we set the date, the time for our online quiz. Okay, of course, additional instruction, the quiz covers, say for example, covers all lessons of module 2. Yan, scope, we give the scope. So for example, And then another one is ano kaya? Ang problema kasi sa online quiz, online quizzes are prone to cheating. One is, baka mamaya yung nagki-quiz, hindi yung estudyante, iba ang sumasagot. But later on, the discussion forum na lang po natin. But anyway, just show you muna how this works. Okay, so the quiz covers, and then, i-address na lang natin yung concern na yun. So, then, ito, open the link provided at the set time and date. Okay? So this is our link na automatic na may blank quiz yan. That's the link that we are referring to. Or just simply, we can specify clearly anong link. Link, tapos open close parenthesis. So for example, quiz, module 2 quiz, yung title. So later on, i-update natin yung title niya. Okay? So, categories, ilagay natin siya, quizzes again. Anong topic? Ilagay natin siya sa module 2. Ayan. Okay. So, ayan, mag-open siya. And then, so first we update the title. So, instruction natin kanina dito, open the link. The title of the link is Module 2 Quiz. So, we try to edit this para mag-jive doon. Module 2 Quiz. Ayan. So, ito, Module 2 Quiz din. Title. Then, instruction, select the best answer. Okay. So, we now start putting questions. Question number 1. So, for example, multiple choice question siya. So, Google Classroom has these basic pages except, tapos may blank yan. So option 1, for example, stream page. Option 2, classwork page. And then people page. Grades page. And then timeline page, for example. Okay, so those are our options. This is a multiple choice. Now, if you are using Google Forms, yung Google Forms, pwede na niyang i-check kung tama o mali yung sagot. But to do that, we need to first set ano yung tamang sagot. So ano yung tamang sagot dito? It's this one. So how do you do that? So meron dito answer key sa baba. So click answer key. Ayan. Then we need to set the point. How many points for this item? So for example, 1 point. Then select the correct answer. The correct answer is this one. Kasi yung question natin Google Classroom has these basic pages except, so which of this? So except this timeline. Wala namang timeline page sa Google Classroom. So done. Ayan. So as you can see, ayan. That's the correct answer. So, we set the correct answer. So, every time magtitake na ng quiz ng estudyante, automatic nilalagyan na ng points yan. Okay? You can jumble these options. How to do that? So that for every student, nagja-jumble yan, nagra-randomize yan. Dito, sa baba, meron dyan, shuffle option order. Yan. So, enable mo yon. Yan, naka-check na siya. enable mo yon so that this one jumbles, no, every time. So randomly jumbles, or yeah, put in a order, not the same in all for all students. Okay, so let's add another question. True or false naman? Classroom, Google is a proprietary online learning platform. True or false? So, lagi tayo dyan. True and false. Okay. Then, pwede rin ulit natin i-jumble yan so that sometimes it will be true yung nauuna or sometimes it will be false nauuna. Okay. Set the answer key. So, click answer key. Then you set which one is the correct answer. Is it a proprietary online learning platform? No, it's not. So it's false. Yan. And then, so next, paano naman pag fill in the blank? So let's add another question. You can open Google Classroom at this address. Tapos nilang kang nilagay dyan, HTTPS, fill in the blank, .com. Yan. So fill in the blank then .com. Okay. So this is fill in the blank. So we should select the type of question into short answer. So meron dyan yung short answer. Yan. So ita-type manually ng estudyante kung ano yung tamang sagot. What's the answer key? So ita-type natin yung correct answer. So add a correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is classroom.google. Yan. Kasi may .com na doon sa sentence. Classroom.google. That's the key answer. So pag na-type niyang may tama yung word, so that's the correct answer. So done. So that's for fill in the blank. Ano pa ba yung mga objective type? Wala tayong matching type dito. So matching type basically it's like a multiple choice naman. May mga options. Okay? So the type of questions that you can do here are multiple choice, paragraph. Paragraph mahirap ito kasi kung essay type, you cannot type the correct answer there. There's no correct answer for an essay unless you read the content. So hindi ginagamit ito for online quiz. So usually, ito checkbox pwede rin. Which of the following? So let's try to use checkbox here. So for example, parang i-check niya kung ano yung mga applicable. Which of the following are the characteristics of Google Classroom? The 1 point, if check niya lahat ng applicable. So for example, it is free. It is standalone. It is any email can be used. Can be used. It is very simple to use. Ayan. Okay, alisin na natin. So so isa-set natin yung answer key. The correct answers there is this one and this one. So to get 1 point, the student must check these two. Kung isa lang yung na-check niya dyan, he or she will not get the 1 point. So that's basically how to use check boxes. Ayan. Okay? So those are the types of questions that we could put in this module 2 quiz. Now, itong Google form na to is already, by default, is already active. Okay? So, pag clinic na, inassign mo na yan, tapos na-receive ng estudyante at clinic na nila to, it's already active. Now, kaya nga, when you give quiz, you should proctor it online. Dapat hindi pa rin mawawala yung proctoring. So, kahit online siya, you should proctor it. Since ito yung proctoring part, you set the time. 9 a.m. to 9:30. So, how do we enable that on that time? So, manually, you will be setting that. So, dito sa Google Form, balik tayo sa Google Form, punta ka dito sa responses, and then, meron dito kasi option na accepting responses. This means that this form is already live and accepting responses. So, kung is-schedule mo siya, so temporarily, you should not enable that option. Okay? This form is, so pwede mong i-personalize yung message na to. This quiz is available on August 21, 2020 at 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So pwede mong i-personalize na once the student will open this form, pag inassign mo na kasi marireceive na nila yan eh. Date and time. Okay? So this is a very important feature also to take note for the teachers. No? So be careful not to upload that. Now, so okay na yon. Okay? So go back to Google Classroom, then i-assign mo na siya. Ayan. At least ahead of time, kahit offline pa yung quiz mo, ahead of time, they are already being notified that there will be an upcoming quiz. Ayan. Okay, so let me go back to our Google Meet and may I now entertain questions, or probably let me show you first how would the student respond to the question or to the assignment. So going back to the student page, student account. So again, may update na naman. So this teacher posted a new assignment, module 2 quiz. So all I have to do is to open it or just go to classwork and then, ayan, ito. Walang module 2. Where's module 2? Hindi ko ba nailagay sa module 2? Oh, it's in module 2. So let me just refresh this one. Ayan. So may module 2 na dito. So I'm going to module 2. Then view the quiz. So yun na siya. So when I open this as a student, okay. So there is an error here. You need access. Okay. So one thing to take note is that when you are using your domain account like .edu.ph or .gov.ph, so medyo restricted yon. So I'll just go back to check on the assignment. So dito sa teacher, I'll just go back and open the form again. So how do you modify the quiz? So ito nga, may mag-appear. Just click this, resume collecting responses. Ayan. So I went back to the editable form. let me check this. Nakalimutan ko palang i-discuss itong settings. Okay? Okay, so there is an option there, restrict to DMSU. Since I am using our domain email account, which is at dimsu.edu.ph. So by default naka-check ito. Kaya yung kanina, yung student account ko na personal Gmail, hindi niya ma-access because of this setting. So you have to uncheck that. You have to check that with your DepEd account also. Baka restrict to DepEd something blah blah blah, ganun din nakalagay dyan. Kaya kapag yung estudyante nyo ay ginagamit ay personal Gmail account, hindi niya ma-open yung form dahil dito sa setting na to. So I'll just go ahead and check that and save it. So, pero let's try to review other settings here. You can also shuffle question order. Yan o, meron dito. And then, importante pala ito para hindi mag-leak yung correct answer. Kasi by default, so dito sa quizzes settings, meron dito yung correct answers, mapopost yan. Mapopost din yung missed questions. Kasi pwede nilang screenshot yan and share with the classmates. So just display the point values, disable missed questions at saka correct answers. Kasi kung true or false, tapos missed question, so madali na lang na-determine kung saan doon yung to. So yung pala nakalimutan. Make sure to shuffle. Then, ayun nga, going back here, you uncheck this one, yung restriction, then save. Okay. Now, I go back to the student account. So, close ko to. Open ko ulit yung form na to. Oops, ayaw pa rin. I-refresh ko. Tingnan natin ulit. O yun. Okay? So as you can see, pag inopen ko, yun yung message. This quiz is available on August 21 at 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So wala pa tayo sa scheduled date and time. Now, assuming sinet na ng teacher, so I'm going back to the teacher account sa Google Forms na to. I'm going to, so assuming ito na yung time and date, so I'm going to enable now the quiz. So again, you just go to responses, ito, then enable this, accepting responses. So going back here, i-refresh ko na itong form na to, or just close this one, then reopen it. Yun na siya. So I need to put my Gmail just for verification. Okay. So as you can see, na-jumble yung word. Itong kanina, hindi ito yung nauna. So it's jumbled. So I'm going to fill in the blank, classroom.google. Okay. If the following are characteristics of Google Classroom, it's free. They're simple to use. Has the basic pages except, so for example, timeline. Then for example, ito mali. Proprietary, so i-true ko, then submit. Ayan, nag-quiz na. So, then, pwede niya mag-view yung score. Ayan, so 3 out. Okay. Now, if you don't want your students to view their score, kasi nga, this will be prone to cheating. I-share niya tong answers niya o i-screenshot niya. Okay? So, as you can see, kung in-enable niyo yun, view score, they can easily share each other. So probably we could set other settings there. Okay, prone to cheating. So we could go back here. Receive si teacher na responses. As you can see, eto siya. Yan, may score siya. Okay. Now, to disable yung para makita yung summary na yon, I just go to settings here of that form. And then, okay, response receipt. So, disable ko rin ito. Itong option na to, response receipts. And then, ano pa? Dito sa quizzes, i-disable ko na rin to, point values. Kasi nga, this will show the total values at the end. So, wag mo nang i-release yon para hindi mag-view yung mga sagot niya at baka i-share lang niya. Okay? So, you uncheck na lang ito lahat to avoid leaking of questions and answers. Okay? So, ganon. So, yun yung mga kailangan nating tignan. Okay? So, I'll just close this form and I'm going back to Google Classroom. Automatically, pag may mga nagsasubmit na ng quiz, so meron na, nakikita natin, meron ng isang turn in. So, we can view that. And then, ito pala, since yung quiz natin kanina, 4 items lang, 4 points, so we need to update that kasi by default nga, nakalimutan nating iset, yung default is 100. Okay? So let's try to correct that first. So dito, sa assignment na pinost natin, pwede pang ma-edit yan. So going back to the Google Classroom, classwork, and then ito, sa quiz na to, we can still edit. So this one, this button here, then click edit. Yan. Then we update the points. So since 4 questions lang naman, for total of 4 points, so lagay natin 4 points dyan. Okay, then save. Then update. Okay. So na-update ko na yung points niya. Now let's try to look at the result. So yung score doon sa Google Form is not automatically put into the grade book of the Google Classroom. So as you can see here, this student has no score yet in Google Classroom. Nag-take na siya ng quiz. So how do we do that? So dito sa student work, meron ditong button na import grades. So kung halimbawa nag-quiz na lahat ng estudyante, so just click on this. All the scores from the Google form will be imported to this Google Classroom. So just click import. Then you can later see here, see now the score. Okay? But you can still see here draft. I-receive yan ng estudyante. Ito sa Google Classroom. But you need to return this score finally or as a final process to your student. How do we return this to the student? Just click on this option para lahat ng mga nag-turn in, i-return na natin. Ito sa may turn in, and then click return button. Then return. Okay? So, marireceive na ni student yung kanyang score sa quiz. Yun po. So, let me now switch to the Google Meet and entertain questions. Okay, the online quiz. So, online quiz, you can make multiple choice item, true or false, fill in the blank, and check boxes wherein they need to check all those applicable items to get that maximum point. Any question from our participants from Alipang? Just turn on your mic, you raise your hand, and we'll give the floor to you to voice out your concerns or issues or questions or queries. So Rufino, do you have questions? Na-address na ba natin yung concern mo on objective type assessments?
Yes, sir. Everything is clear.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, appreciate it na na-address natin yung concern mo. So, practice lang. Before you assign yung mga online quizzes, i-practice nyo. Ang maganda na mayroon kayong personal Gmail account, gagawa kayo ng klase using your DepEd account, and then i-test ninyo. You add your personal account as student account. I-test nyo muna yung mga Google Forms na ilalagay ninyo for your quizzes para makita ninyo mismo kung ano yung mga pwedeng maging issue doon sa online quiz ninyo. Now, yung issue kanina na cheating, baka mamaya ang sumasagot, kapatid, kuya, ate, or nanay, tatay, kasi online, magandang gamitin yung Google Meet. So para makita nyo in front of the webcam, of course, that would entail the use of a webcam, no? So mag-establish muna kayo ng Google Meet like this one, no? What we are doing right now. Some of you, no, nakikita ko, so they must be present in front of the screen while they are doing the quiz. That's one way to check also, to proctor your online students. So, i-enable nila. So, ang requirement nyo is i-on nila yung webcam, join the Google Meet, online yung webcam, i-mute na nila yung mic para hindi wala tayong marinig na unnecessary noise. Basta yung webcam lang i-on nila and then pwede na nilang i-take yung quiz. At least, that's one way how to proctor our students with our online quizzes. So that's one way. So that's the only way actually. Wala nang iba. Yun na kasi yung mga available tools natin right now na pwede natin gamitin. Do you have queries? We still have 20 minutes before 12, so we are having a remaining 20 minutes. There's only one last part that I'm going to discuss, how to download the gradebook. So if you don't have any questions so far for this topic, for the quiz assignment, let me now show you how to download yung gradebook mismo. So assuming all students have already completed their assignments, taken their online quizzes, submitted necessary projects or what, okay? So you are now ready to, as a teacher, to download the grade sheet and you can open that grade sheet in Microsoft Excel and pattern it with your template in DepEd. Kasi meron kayong ginagamit na template sa DepEd with may mga columns na doon. You are just going to transfer the data, the raw scores from the Google Classroom to that DepEd template. And so, kung wala nang question then I'm now going to switch to my screen now. I'm now going to present again my screen and show you how to download the gradebook from Google Classroom. So I'm now switching to my screen for you to be able to see. Ayan. Okay. So going back to the teacher screen of the Google Classroom. So this is the teacher screen or view of the Google Classroom. So the last page there is grades. So this is where you can monitor your students. Okay, so you can see there all your students who are submitting and then which items are already graded, which items are not yet graded. You can see your student who is not yet submitting. So you can take actions timely to those students. O itong estudyante kong itong si Fe, di pa nagsasabit, dami ng mga late na itong si Fe talaga. Ganon, okay. Joke lang, ma'am. Okay. So you can easily see and monitor your students and take actions appropriately and promptly para maagapan natin yung mga problema sa online classes. Probably may problems sa internet connection or what. So may mga hindi natin alam. Okay? Nevertheless, so ito yung overall view. Lahat ng mga pinopost nating assignment, ginigrade nila, ito na yung pinaka-summary. How do we download that? Just open any of this assignment. For example, ito, open ko itong module 2 quiz. Yan. Then, at the top right corner, below the profile pic, meron ditong gear icon ulit. Okay. So, click on that. Meron dyan, download all grades as CSV. So, ito yon. So, when you download all grades as CSV, you will download the file containing all those raw scores and be able to open that with Microsoft Excel. So, I'll go ahead and click on this. And it will start downloading the file. Yan, it's already downloaded. So as you can see at the bottom left corner. Then I'm going to open it. So when you open it, it will be automatically opened to your default spreadsheet. This is now the raw scores of all the assignments created in Google Classroom. You can now simply copy and paste the raw scores from this spreadsheet to your template. Copy and paste mo na lang. Fill up that table of your DepEd template. And then automatically naman may mga computations na doon. Then you're done. It's just a matter of copying, transferring this data from this education. Okay, so that's it. So as easy as then just open any of those assignments posted. So going back here at the teacher account, you just open grades, then click one of these. So say for example this one. Then the gear icon is always there. Download all grades as CSV. So as simple as that. So madali lang po. Yun. So I think that ends my talk with this webinar on Google Classroom for K-12 teachers. And I hope you gained a lot from this webinar. And if you have still questions, then this will be the right time to gather all your questions so I could immediately give my feedback. I would like to thank Sir Mark Gali for spearheading this webinar. Thank you, Sir Gali, for coordinating with Alipang National High School. So, thank you for participating. Lahat po ng mga nag-participate ngayong morning. Everything are recorded, so you can always watch later on. I will share to you. I will send the link to your email address, yung recorded video of this webinar, so you can still review and follow what is being presented here in this webinar. Okay, do you have questions? I may now entertain questions. Yan, para ma-record naman kayo sa ating live video. Questions po?
Hello. Good morning,
Hi, Ma'am
everyone.
Fessy. You ask question.
Sir Enrico. Interested ako dun sa my essay. Like, I want to highlight yung part ng essay niya na gustong-gusto ko. So, I want to say good comments. Pwede bang ganun?
Yes, ma'am. Good comments or negative, positive and negative comments. Lahat na pwede gusto. Lahat ng personalized na feedback sa estudyante, you can do that. You just highlight that and add comment.
Okay. Pwedeng mag-add ng emoticons.
I'm not sure, pero you can always add comments po, ma'am. Para naman, the one way of interacting with our student now, good job, you are doing well, and keep it up. So that's a good way to provide feedback, personalized feedback for individual students.
Thank you. Thank you for answering our questions. From the College of Graduate Studies, hello to Alipang National High School. I would like to tell that I started at Alipang National High School in
Wow.
1987. That's my
Oh,
first year of teaching. Hello, Alipang.
wow.
Sir
Thank you,
Enrico,
ma'am. Thank you for that question.
very
And
clear ang presentation mo. Very systematic, very organized. We hope na because of our age, we are not techie, but using the Google Classroom parang kayang-kaya namin dito. Di ba guys? Oh, so okay
yes,
mo
ma'am.
ta?
Talagang dinesign ko sa ito as simple as possible. Good morning po everyone sa CGS. From Alipang, do you have anything to say? Si Ma'am Marcy. How about Ma'am Marcy? Ma'am Marcy, you need to activate your DMSU account. Turn on your webcam for documentation.
Yes, sir. Sir, yung handouts namin tsaka
Yes,
yung,
ma'am.
naka-record ba to kanina?
Lahat, ma'am. Everything. Pati yung mga
Hindi,
sinasabi niyo, ma'am.
yung lecture mo, naka-record para i-open namin. Isunto itod mi lagi estudyante min.
Yes, ma'am. I think the campus is also preparing guide for students, both teachers and students.
Sir Rico, Sir Mark,
Yes, Sir Mark.
I just want to give message for Alipang and to Dr. Rufino for the opportunity given and partnership we have for about school. So I have other proposals for other endeavor for trainings and particularly for educational purposes. Okay. Yes, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. So it will be our pleasure to serve Alipang kung ano pa yung mga needs nila dyan, so we could share our expertise to Alipang National High School. Maraming salamat high school, especially our principal, Dr. inviting us.
Can I come in?
Yes, yes, sir. You go ahead po.
Okay, in behalf of the Alipang National High School faculty and staff, we would like to extend our warmest congratulations and gratitude to DMSU CCS for extending their support, especially that we are really in need of this kind of application so that we can cater this to our online students this coming school year. To you, Sir Enrico, thank you very much for your time. And we will just forward it to you, our prepared certificate for recognition that you have extended to us. And we look forward to many more webinars in the future, perhaps, so that my teachers would be really equipped with, they will be armed with this kind of, they call this 21st century skill. You know, my teachers are quite hard to adapt with this kind of situation, but we cannot do anything but to force ourselves to really study and learn from this kind of approach so that we can really give the best for our students. Thank you very much, DMSU CCS. Thank you very much, sir, and have a good day.
Okay, I appreciate Sir Rufino for all your recognition, and please expect all the participants will receive e-certificates will be sent to your respective email addresses. So make sure that all participants have registered po doon sa ating registration link. So again, whatever you need, Sir Rufino, in your school, we are always ready to extend our expertise from here in DMMMSU, especially in CCS and CGS. Ma'am Fe, do you have any last words to the Alipang National High School?
I don't want the last words. The
Okay,
closing
ma'am.
remarks. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Enrico Dacanay. I'm a very proud English teacher here because you were my student before. Now I see the outcome, a part of an outcome from me.
Of course, ma'am, you are my teacher in speech communication, and now you see the output, the outcome.
Yeah. Thank you for
Lahat ng mga sinasabi ko ngayon, ma'am, impromptu. Because of your training sa impromptu speaking,
galing.
extemporaneous speaking, lahat po. Okay. So thank you very much.
We would also like to thank Sir Gali, Dr. Gali, for inviting us and be a part of this classroom. Ito ang kagandahan ng Google Classroom kasi now we are classmates with Alipang National High School. We hope to see you not only virtually but later on maybe personal. We can go again to Alipang National High School. Siguro may sasakyan na sir. Kasi noong time namin wala pang sasakyan. Again, Sir Enrico, thank you very much. We learned a lot from this Google Classroom webinar. More to come. Alam naman namin na if we don't know, you are just one text away from us. Pag hindi alam ni Sir Gali, sa'yo kami pupunta.
No problem, ma'am. Always my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so that wraps up our webinar on Google Classroom. So this will not be our first and last webinar session. So whatever your needs, so just keep in touch with the DMMMSU family. So thank you very much and have a nice day to all of us. God bless us all.